Come on, come on. So you want to chime in with anything?
Well, I was reading some stuff yesterday, and I don't know how many people are going to hear this, but in 2014, the federal government gave IBM and NVIDIA, a chip manufacturer, $325 million to develop a supercomputer because China had outtaken us in supercomputers, and the federal government didn't like that. So they gave 325 million in 2014. It took them 6 years to come up with it, or actually 5 years, because they gave it to them in November 2014. In November of 2019, the United States officially has the fastest supercomputer in the world. It's called the Summit. And guess what problem the scientists have given to Summit as of this last week?
I don't know.
How do we solve the virus? This is the fastest computer on the planet. And they said, we're going to submit all of our resources in this fastest computer on the planet to coming up with an antidote. Because when they came up with the computer, they said, we're going to look at climatology, medicine, and I forget the third thing. But the computer was specifically designed to look at climatology. If the planet, warms up too much, everybody dies, like the dinosaurs or whatever. And then medicine was second. And so they've moved medicine in the first place. And this $325 million in 2014 dollars. This computer is like, when you read the specs on this computer, they're mind-boggling. I don't know if they're unimaginable, but they're pretty close.
So I wonder what makes that computer special. Is it the amount of data that it can process in a short amount of time, I would guess?
Yes, it's called petaflops. And the amount of data it processes is, you can go to Wikipedia and look up Summit and read about this thing. And it is, again, it's mind-boggling. It's worth looking at for nothing else than just to know what's going on, because China had surpassed the US in supercomputers and the US didn't like it. And so they built the Sierra first, and now they built the Summit. And the Summit is officially, as of November 2019, the fastest computer in the world. And they're giving it one problem to work on right now. How do we fix this coronavirus thing? And it can go through so many permutations and so many computations. Right. It's going to figure it out. This is why I said yesterday, one of the reasons I said yesterday, I'm convicted that they will have an antidote or some type of vaccine for this in 30 days, because they're already doing human trials.
Right.
I'm sure you know that. But yes. The human, used to be, we have to wait. And first we have to test it on mice, and then we got to test it on cats, and then we got to test it on humans or monkeys or something like that. But they're already doing human trials on different types of viruses. So I'm 30 days, my dear, 30 days. That's what I'm figuring.
30 days. Well, we're doing this accelerated live daily show for everybody to stay connected to our real estate community. And we hope that you'll tune in. After the fact, I think yesterday we had about 80 people that watched us, Jimmy. Great. And we're trying to replace your fear with facts. We're trying to replace your fear with facts. And Jimmy just gave a great fact about a computer, a supercomputer that's working on this virus solution. And I think that we are going to see a little bit of a slowdown, of course, maybe the next 2 weeks. But I think after 2 weeks, my personal opinion, which is influenced by Brian Buffini and his podcast with Young, who is our chief economist. And I want to see if I can't get that on the screen. If everybody goes to watch that podcast, you will feel really, really good, because basically Young is saying, Dr. Young, he is our economist for NAR. He is saying that there is going to, first of all, there has been a new home housing shortage. I don't know if everybody realizes that, but across the country, based on statistics and based on the demand, building 1 million homes a year creates a shortage of new homes. And he believes, because of the shortage, that our housing is on solid ground and we have low inventory. So I think that everybody needs to think about this. And while you're at home, my advice would be to watch this video, think about what they're saying. And yesterday, we had 80 closings. Yesterday, there were 80 sales that closed here in Vegas. And on Friday, we had, let's see if I can find my number real quick. Let's see, Friday, I think 180 closings. And that was surpassing last year at the same time. Um, I don't know what everybody's experiencing out there, but I would love if everybody can share. I will share something that's going on with one of John's clients. John has a client that lives in the UK, and the UK is experiencing similar situations than as we are here in Las Vegas. And he has an investment home that we managed for years that he's now trying to sell, and we have an offer on it. And it was supposed to close by the 31st of this month. And the investor who's buying it is a cash buyer. And based on the price she's paying and then rents right now, as they are an average of $1,654, she will be cash flow positive. And so the seller took a stand last night and called us and said, if she doesn't close on the 31st, the deal's off the table. He said, that house, he says, I believe in real estate, and I don't believe that the market's going to go down, and I don't believe that she's going to get hurt. And he said something very interesting. He said, if everybody caves in, we're going to cave in.
That's the herd theory. That's the herd theory. If you do what everyone else does, you're just like a lemming. And so, yeah, it's time to take a stand. And that's why I'm impressed with the fact that you've decided, let's do this every day for a little while. Let's over communicate, if anything. And we have some faithful listeners like Karen. Good morning, Karen. I'm glad you're here. I don't know if we can ever get her a microphone, but that would be really cool if she could.
Well, I asked her to come on in.
But I think there's two types of people. There's the type of people that actually go out and make things happen. Then there's people that, wait for things to happen and hope something happens. And I they say there's three types of people. There's the third type that wonder what happened. But,
right.
I mean, but I know there's some businesses that have said, you know what, I'm going to get some kind of a stimulus package. And in real estate, we are free to work as much as we want. We have the freedom and flexibility to work as much as we want. We're not going to get a stimulus package. And Karen has made that comment. We're never going to get one. Freedom isn't free. There's a price to pay for what we get. We can earn an unlimited income, but there's no floor either. So we've got to go to work. And this is the time, as you said, Ruthie, this is the time when you don't cave in. This is the time when you go to work and you hold your ground. And there's still people that are going to say, I have to live somewhere. I'm already paying $1,650 rent. My payment's going to be $1,800, but I own the house. They can't kick me out. It's the most sensible move for them. And some of them, even if they're scared a little bit, they do come to their senses. The movie ends at some point and you go back to real life.
Well, and of course, here's the other thing. And good morning, Marie. It's so good to see you. I love Marie. Marie accommodated us, letting us use her training facility for years at North American Title. And Marie, I'm just so happy to see you. And thank you for joining us.
Marie, she's never that happy to see me, just so you know. That's how excited she is.
Oh, Marie was so good to us. And Jimmy, are you kidding me? I love you.
I appreciate it. We're back at you.
So I think if everybody listens to that podcast, which thank you, Jimmy, for letting everybody know about it yesterday. And if everybody listens to that, what Dr. Young is saying is, once this is passed, let's say in 2 weeks, a lot of the people that have invested in the stock market are going to think twice, and they're going to start investing again in real estate. And based on his historical data, which I can't repeat, I'm not quite that smart, but he really defines and made me believe that when this is over, and it will be over, that the market is going to be strong, and people get ready to do 12 months of work in 9 months. And that's what he says. Everybody needs to get ready to do 12 months of work in 9 months to make this year just really as robust as he believes it's going to be, given the economic indicators. And he says, you may have to pause. And when you reach out to people, reach out to your sphere of influence and just say, give them comfort, give them, try to calm their fears, and try to give them confidence that this market is going to become robust when this episode we're having is over. And it will be over, like Jimmy says, it will be over. And we're going to have more home building. We're going to have a more balanced market. And the only thing that he suggests is the only people that really should be pausing in this whole scenario that we're going through. And Jimmy, what's your opinion? Is people whose jobs are not secure. However, most of the jobs are secure. You know, we've got people in the healthcare industry. We've got all of our industries are really secure. And once the casinos come back online, you know, those jobs are secure. So,
well, Ruthie, let's get real here. There's 5 places people can keep their money. They can keep it in cash, and some people are doing that. They can buy bonds, and with the interest rate where it is, those don't make any sense at all. They make less sense than even keeping it in cash. They can put it in stocks, and we've seen the seesaw of the stock market. You know, it came back huge yesterday. The biggest gain, I think, in the last 40 years or 50 years. So the people in the stock market, they're being whipped back and forth like a wet towel.
yeah.
It's gone down, it's gone up, it's gone down, it's gone down. So let's see, we can keep it in cash, we could put it in bonds, we could buy stocks with it and be up and down, or we could do some type of collectibles. If I'm really good with classic cars or gemstones or some collectibles, but the 5th one is real estate. And of all these, the most stable is real estate. If people are looking for stability, they really can't go anywhere else. And bonds, they may pay you some small dividend, but you know, when all the hedge funds came to Las Vegas and bought property, they paid cash, which means they're going to get a cash flow. If you want a positive cash flow, just pay all cash. No problem. You can get a positive cash flow. And somebody's going to live in that house, and somebody's going to help you pay for that house if you have a loan on it. So real estate is the only smart move, and people with a lot of money are going to start looking at their asset allocation. If they've been 90% in the stock market and 10% in real estate, I think we're going to see people move out of the stock market. They're going to move out of bonds. They're going to move into real estate because it's the only thing that makes true, really long-term sense. It's the only thing. And they're smart. They'll figure it out.
And I think with people at home right now, we realize we need our homes. And I want to say hello to Taylor. Hi, Taylor. Appreciate you watching us today. And Jimmy, Karen just said that they have a closing today, which is excellent. And one more comment from Karen. This is really good. Now, Karen is a Buffini mentor. And of course, we're going to do our class. Buffini said we can Zoom it, we can live stream it on April 3rd. But she said that they came up with a great email to send out to their database. And it's included the podcast with Brian Buffini and Dr. Young. So what I'm going to do today for all of the Agent Formula members is I am going to create a blog, a very short blog, and I am going to blast it out to all of the Agent Formula member database. And it will include Buffini's podcast because it's excellent to give people a feeling that, to get, you know, facts over fear. And that is what I love about that podcast. It gave me facts, and I couldn't wait to share it with everybody what I could to eliminate your fear. And what do you think about that, Jimmy?
Well, I think that you're making it so easy that we have absolutely no excuse. We talked about this the other day. It's just as easy to do nothing and sit back and be in our living room. In fact, it's easier to do nothing. And this is a time when we need to step up and do something. And you've made it so easy. If I go to your blog and I click on that, or I put it in an email, I can send it out to all of my clients. And I want to make a comment. Buffini mentions this, but Lawrence Yun is the chief economist. Economists look at other economists and they rate them. It's almost like the Nobel Prize. And Lawrence Yun is selected as in the top 5 most perspicacious economists on the planet every single year. This guy gets invited to all kinds of panels. Buffini talks about this. But the thing about economists, you know, they asked this economist, you know, you're the chief economist. What do you think is going to happen to the market? And he said, well, your guess is as good as mine. What? Listen to the podcast. Just it's 2 clicks. It's 2 clicks. Just go to Ruthie's thing, get it, forward it to all your clients. That's great. You made it easy for us. Thank you.
Well, yeah, it's going to be on. We're going to send it out. If you have loaded your database in the back of your lab, which hopefully everybody has, so that their clients stay at least updated on the market once a month from you, they will get this blog. And if you haven't uploaded it and you have it somewhere, this is what's on the screen right there is what you insert into your email. And again, we need to give our sphere of influence, we need to give them, I guess, make them feel comfortable. You know, you have to be careful, I know, but give them strength and give them calmness. That's the words I was looking for. Give them calmness and give them strength. And when you send this out to them, hopefully they will feel that, you know, they will thank you for it, because it's got to make everybody feel better. And everybody really believes, just like Jimmy, you said earlier, this too shall pass. This, we're going to get through this. And people are still buying homes. People are still listing homes. And it's a beautiful opportunity for you all to learn how to do live video and direct message your sphere of influence. You can direct message. You can actually put this in this https www.youtube.com, what it says there on the screen. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you can copy and paste that, put it into a direct message. Then you can also start talking to them and videoing yourself and saying, I'm sending you this, wishing you that you're healthy, and hopefully this will give you some calmness and peace, and that this too shall pass. In a direct message, a live video with this, I mean, you guys are going to get, do you know what Buffini said in this particular podcast? He said that the people that listened to him and that did reach out to all of their database with things like this, their referrals increased 3 to 4 times.
Well, this is no question the time to be calm, cool, and collected, because your energy communicates, your energy on the screen, your energy through your email. I can read an email and know something about the person that sent me the email. So this is the time to be calm, cool, and collected and communicate. And that's what we're doing. You communicate. When you show up with that energy and that information and that demeanor, this is the time when leaders keep their head, and leaders come in calm, cool, and collected. And that's what we need. The real estate community needs to be leaders for their customers, clients, and prospects and suspects, because this is the time for us to really show up. The leader has to show up. The leader has to show up.
Yes. And I know you're at home. You're not at home. You're in your office, and
I'm in my office.
and John and I are headed to our office. I want to tell everybody some stats too. 15% of the 1.5 million realtors that belong to NAR, that's where they get their stats, NAR. 15% of realtors make 6 figures or more. 6%. I mean, 15%, I'm sorry, make 6 figures or more. Then there's the 30% that make less than $30,000 a year. That leaves 55% that make between $30,000 a year and $99,000 a year. So my point about telling you this is, for those people, those 30% that make less than $30,000 a year, probably are not going to do what you can do. And you can capture a bigger part of the market. And that's one of the reasons why Dr. Young said, Lawrence Young said, get prepared to do 12 months of work in the next 9 months, as soon as we get back on track, as soon as the 2 weeks are done or April 30th comes. I think it's going to be April 16th when we start getting cooking again. But I think that we need to be prepared. And, you know, like, we're home, let's learn, you know, let's do things. Let's learn, let's be prepared. Let's everybody sign up for the April 3rd Buffini class. And let's just start the next 9 months with a bang.
If you don't get signed up now, you're not going to have your materials. They ship the materials to you. So you need to get signed up so you have the materials with you, so you can be there. As Ruthie said, we'll Zoom some people in, and we will have meetings at her office. So if you like working in a group, we will keep it to 10 or less, as the governor has said. Meetings of 10 or less, that's what we're going to do. So if we have 25 people signed up, we'll rotate in and out. So we'll make sure that everybody that wants to show up can show up and be a part of the community, but we'll also Zoom the other people in. So we'll figure this out. But delaying it, you know, is not the solution right now. This is a time when you go to work and sharpen your saw. When I have said every single day we've been on this podcast, go to work, go to work, go to work, that's really more than just one thing. One of them is keep calm, cool, and collected when you go to work, communicate with your clients, and get better. As Ruthie said, this is a time to sharpen the saw and reach out with a really, really good message, which Ruthie has provided you. This is a really, really good message. This is one way to be present for them right now when they need you.
Exactly. And I think we're done for the day. Let's see, Karen. Yes, Karen. Yes, Karen. Karen, great idea. Love you, Karen. Karen said, yeah. Yeah, don't freak out, Karen. Yeah, we don't want anybody freaking out. So I think that Jimmy, what words of wisdom do you have to end with today? I put the place where people can go to sign up for the Brian Buffini Pathways to Mastery. You can go to b.vegas, which is a website, a web page that goes to the training page, or just go to lasvegasagentformula.com and click the training tab and sign up.
Well, here's my last comment. If you haven't been spending at least 2 to 3 hours per week before this on sharpening the saw, 2 to 3 hours per week, whether you're watching webinars, going to classes, just networking with other top earners that are, what are you reading? What are you watching? You know, network and communicate. Now is the time to start developing that habit. Habits develop over a period of time. This is a time for us to come up with a new ritual or a new habit. And we've been given this time. Let's take advantage of it.
I think that's great. And be a voice of value, give strength, and give calmness.
Thank you, Ruthie.
To your fellow members, to your clients, and to your brokers, just go out there and be the voice of value and calmness. And we will see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock with more information on the real estate front, giving you facts to and eliminate your fear.
Thank you, Ruthie.
Thank you.